back. Episode 57 of the Young Old Heads podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tommy, aka TV Sports Cards, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host Max, aka Cards Max, aka Cards Max, Taco Fractor Edition. Max, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I am looking at TV Sports Cards Tommy's red Topps Rookie Cup shirt as I'm recording this, and I'm envious of it. And I want to acquire a hobby related shirt on my own. Where I'm at the maturity in life, which I've been at for a while, but regardless, where baseball card, it's like you enjoy your baseball cards as a kid, and then it's like, oh, imagine if you're like 14 wearing like a baseball card shirt. That's lame. But if you're like the jacked 24-year-old pumping iron in the gym and you're wearing a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card shirt, shout out Certified Cards, because I've seen him rock it and he kills it. And similar to Tommy's rookie cup shirt, I need a top shirt that makes me yoked.
You need a shirt of the picture of the Juan Soto gold crack. I think that's the picture that needs to go on a shirt. If a listener is listening and wants to do a little quick Photoshop of us of that on a t-shirt, appreciate it. Our good friend Cincinnati Hayden, he sent us a dope picture of an Upper Deck shirt he found at a vintage shop recently. I think Upper Deck historically has been the most ahead of the game on the merch. Tops, I think, made this partnership with Homage or whatever. That's where I got this shirt. So if anyone is looking for sports card merch, that's
Not
one place to
affiliate,
go.
not a giveaway. A lot of hates going on with giveaways lately. This is not a giveaway or not a sponsorship. Tommy just likes the shirt.
I just like the shirt. I guess we should clear the air real quick, Max, in case anyone is wondering if we're gonna have White back on the podcast since he called you out.
I can't wait to our producer clips these.
I'm not clipping any of this shit. This is strictly for really deep in the know listeners. Whiteback once again is calling out Max. Wants to come on the podcast, but he had his chance. I posted the screenshots. It's not happening. The inventor of the giveaway will not be coming on the Young Old Heads podcast unless Max can change my mind about that.
I'm kind of indifferent. Like I used to be a staunch Ben Haynes, I don't want to say hater because that's baseless, but someone who was just more annoyed with his presence. But now I'm just kind of at peace with it. He seems like he can crack some jokes sometimes. I saw in Slab Mafia Sports's, we love Rohan. He made a joke giveaway off, giving away a National Treasures 1-of-1 Shield rookie. And he said one of the requirements for his giveaway was you had to comment, Slab Mafia Sports is your dad, or Sports Card Mayweather is your daddy. And our friend Ben Haynes, Eric Whiteback, commented, Sports Card Mayweather is my son. And I appreciate that. He's breaking the wall more. He's someone, I don't know. I'm not annoyed at him. I have nothing against the guy. I think he's weird. He might be into some interesting stuff, I guess. Adam 22 and Lena are into some weird, interesting stuff. But the guy exists. We know what to expect from him.
I'm going to cut us off because I've talked about this enough, but just wanted to address, and I know that you're more indifferent, and maybe I'll change my mind. We will be having Rohan Slab Mafia Sports on either before the National, right after, maybe at the National. Maybe we'll do something with him, but you can be expecting that coming soon for sure.
I can't wait to call our entire audience and both of us brokies.
That's how it is.
I was saying that in jest.
I know. But Max, it's been a little bit since we put on an episode. Been a while since we recorded an episode. I went to Europe, did not find any cards despite my minor efforts to try to find cards. Didn't try too hard. But you've been at it all over the place. You were put on the Bleaker Trading Coachella lineup list for trade night. In case anyone didn't see that, Max was put on a Bleaker Trading poster, and his name was he's some sort of artist and going to perform at Lollapalooza or some shit. What was that about, Max?
So Bleaker Trading usually has their trade nights about once every month to 6 weeks or so. And usually the event is sponsored by a personality. And they film the content with said person or whatever before the trade night, and then they do stuff at their trade night. But they decided to spice things up a little bit, and they gave some of their regulars and some of the people in their network showcases. So it was almost like a mini card show late on a Tuesday night, I want to say. And I was able to showcase, I was able to talk about my cards. I don't think I sold or bought a single card that night, and I'm totally okay with that. Um, yeah, no, I'm not gonna save my vent. I'm gonna save my vent for off the air because I don't want to indemnify anyone. But
Indemnify them now.
no, no, no. They're like the banks. They're too big to fail. But no, I had a fun time. I was able to talk about my vintage. I'm in a really weird state cardboard wise where I just don't own any modern, and this is weird for me because I own lots of cards all the time. I keep getting cashed out. I keep selling everything because everything's selling quickly. I'm in this phase where I'm buying so much to grade because I don't know what else to buy right now. So I'm just buying stuff to grade. And I have 2 orders that are currently sitting at the grading stage at PSA. So it's like I don't have any cards in my bag that aren't dead people, but it's good that the dead people cards are still there, and it's not that I have an empty showcase with my Albert Pujols Bowman Chrome Auto. That's always there too.
Well, some say Albert Pujols is just as old as Christy Mathewson, so we'll see how
Yeah.
that works out. I guess that you kind of teased out what I wanted to talk to you about a little bit today, which is mainly I want to just hear what you've been up to. Haven't talked in a while, we haven't recorded in a while, but also the Nationals coming up in a couple weeks. You'll be back on my couch / air mattress in my
Let's
new apartment.
go.
Upgrade. Now living in a new place since Max was last here, but people are moving cards. I hear a lot of talk on social media about the National, people making plans, people excited about it, hearing buzz at shows that stuff is selling, liquidity is higher than it has been. I know that there was kind of a lull period in 2023 of liquidity. A lot of people start holding the bag on certain cards and stuff. What are you seeing out there in the world, Max? I've been kind of sheltered here in my internet presence on cards.
So first things first, when I have a place, you will have a luxurious couch with your name engraved on it that you are able to stay at whenever you do so wish because of the hospitality that's been extended to me. And I think there is a Miami Palm Beach card show in August. Not that you need an excuse to travel, but there is that. And I think that's on my calendar or something like that. I don't know. But that being said, I don't think we've discussed Chantilly. Is that correct? Which was
No,
weeks
we
ago.
you were going to Chantilly before we recorded
That's,
with Jason.
that's what I figured. Yeah, no, Chantilly, interesting show. Giving the synopsis of this and in relation to the market pulse, it was very strange going to a travel card show, and I felt like I was almost competing with mystery packers in racing towards all the decent market deals. Like I want to say Backyard Breaks was there, a few other mystery packers that I know were there that I'm friendly with. It's not bad competition. These are friends and that I sell to sometimes. And I missed Friday because I not only was stuck at 2 hours in my early Friday morning due to traffic on Staten Island, but I also had the worst rain pour in human history driving down the Delaware. So I wanted to get to the show at Friday at about 3 o'clock. I got there at about 6 to 7 on Friday, didn't do a single deal. And by the time Saturday was already there, I was already kind of feeling how I'm already definitely in day 2 of a show. Not that, oh, Friday was a preview, but market is strong, which is good. Not that it matters. Rare cards are still rare cards. For modern, it still almost is like that for whatever card you want to buy, literally just you have to get in that 90 to 100% threshold, and then you can buy the card, and it's that easy. It's like, and that's really relevant for your scarcer cards, but really everything outside, like your cracked ice contenders autos. I don't know what a fucking quarterback is. I've never played football in my life. My high school didn't even have a football team. But outside of that, like wacky stuff, most of the modern cards are pretty attainable if they're cards that you want.
Interesting. I feel like like people are always trying to sell cards before the national is always what I see, but I also see people buying a lot. I mean, you're the type of person. Max will be grinding every trade night at the national. Which have you been hearing about all these trade nights being canceled for the national, Max? Have you been hearing that?
I have heard about it. I don't know entirely what it pertains to. I think it's the national cracking, like they don't want to have centralized events and they don't want to have the other events by other parties that aren't the national. Um, but I know I have not been to a national at Chicago. Tommy, you've been to both the Chicago and the Atlantic City, and maybe earlier, but not earlier ones, right?
No, yeah, I was at the 2021 national. I went a couple days. Did not do train nights, but I did wasn't there last year. Obviously, the whole week in Atlantic City, which was an experience.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's some like interesting little like get-togethers that I'm hearing are canceled. I don't know. I'm interested. Like my understanding is that the Chicago National is way more community centered and more of like a home base than the other Cleveland or Atlantic City or other city nationals. So I'm looking forward to seeing, especially since the hotels are all connected to each other at the Rosemont. So I'm interested to see if that sticks to its reputation.
Yeah, that's definitely the main thing with the national in Chicago is that well, it's out in Rosemont by O'Hare by the airport, and there's a million hotels right there. So it's not like you have to trek around Atlantic City like last year to do trade nights or whatever. I do think it's a loss on the national to disintegrate these like kind of organized trade nights for people that collect like more niche stuff. Like I know there's like a ticket one, there's like a non-sport trading night that was canceled or
Yeah,
something.
I
Um,
know with specifically with the ticket one, they branded it really weirdly. Like I know obviously the national was the National Sports Card Collectors Convention or something along that lines. And the ticket trade night was branded, they were branding it as like the National Ticket Collector Convention Trade Night or something like that. Like they were really trying to lean in on being as like a close to the official title of the national as possible, and I bet that didn't that contributed to the national not looking at them well. Also, please, for the love of God, do not say nationals with an S. It is not a national level of competition. You're not going to the national championships. It is the national.
I love the nationals where it implies that there's regionals. You have to go through sectionals,
Yeah,
and then if you win sectionals, you go to regionals, and if you win regionals, you get to go to the nationals.
yeah. Although I will say, when I like first started going shows, like in like 2019, 2020, just as a consumer, just as a real true collector, I mean, there was like wait when I found out, oh, this guy sets up as a national. I'm dealing with a legitimate dealer here, not just a mom and pop. Although I love the mom and pops that do set up as vendors.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how much the corporatization of the hobby over the last couple of years is going to be impacting this year's national. I know last year there was a much heavier centralized presence of the big companies and the kind of like the center of the floor. So interested to see what they do this year because I know it's like even expanded in like in the Chicago Rosemont Convention Center. They even have more space now than they did 2 years ago. So,
So I
um,
mean, you're behavioral econ guy, right?
oh yeah, big time. You know,
So I guess this is behavioral econ, but I just wanted to get that out there. But I am so mystified and I want to focus so much on the Topps Rapper Redemption freebies. And I don't know how to attack it. I don't know if I will attack it. I don't know if I'll be on the sidelines. But I think that is the most fascinating promotion that happens each and every year. And I want to have a game plan for it. For those that are unfamiliar, if you spend at the Topps booths, Topps will have Rapper Redemption packs that have exclusive cards from the National. And every previous year, except for one, they have been Bowman Chrome designed cards with parallels and with sticker autos. That means you can pull a Mike Trout Superfractor 1/1 auto from a pack. How do you get these packs? You have to present Topps hobby boxes and that are from a certain list that they provide, and you have to present them the physical hobby box. They will undo the seal themselves and they will present you with your pack. You keep the hobby box, however, the box is now unsealed, and you can acquire the hobby boxes from anywhere across the showroom floor. It doesn't have to be with Topps specifically. And this is such a fun promotion, and I want to be the 200 IQ human being that finds out how to win this, but there isn't enough vested interest from people I know to bounce ideas off of, which puts me to shame, which means I will have to be doing this solo or not at all.
The idea that I see the old heads doing the most, in my experience, was people buying archive signature series boxes, and using those as the box. Because then you're getting a guaranteed auto. The box is like what, $450 or so. Um, you hope you make up the losses that you'll get from ripping that on the pack. I do love the freebies at the National. It is makes going there pretty fun. Like last, they do the who's the artist guy who eBay does the cards with.
Sophia Chang.
I don't know. Remember, it was like the dude who did the Kanye West albums a couple years ago, and
Oh,
then
DJ
last
Ski.
DJ Ski, yeah, DJ Ski. Those cards are pretty cool. You get them for free. Like I will
DJ
never skip
Ski
that.
owns the one of one Mike Trout Platinum rookie card.
He does.
Him and his firm do. Yeah.
Oh damn! I didn't even know that he was out there. That's pretty cool. And then Upper Deck will do like there's like a Tiger Woods card giveaway. If you download ePacks or whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry to everyone's audio with
Something
that,
that
but
I put myself in a silly situation of. They had the zero cool Stranger Things cards, and like I was interested in them because like my sister likes Stranger Things, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just give them to her or whatever. And I like ask about the vending machine, and they're like, oh yeah, like you have to come at a certain time and you get them, and I'm like, dude, they're literally just trading cards. Like they seem so lame. Like I don't care about these at all. And then like I come back around like the next day, I see there's like a huge line at this Stranger Things vending machine, and I don't want to sit through it. And then I keep hearing like one of the biggest blurbs that I hear out after the National has completed about how people made money was just going to this vending machine and then selling the Stranger Things cards for like $400, $500. Complete insanity.
yeah, that's pretty nuts. I will say that I hope the National always stays a place where you can buy and trade cards with people. I don't want it to become just corporate giveaway central, like social, like the very famous giveaway social media controversies of past. Like, I just think it's a kind of it's nice that those companies do that. It's nice that there's some sort of national specific chases that you can have, but I don't know. At the end of the day, the National is about the people. It's about media. It's about linking up with the people that you've done trades with online, talk to online, bantering, getting drinks, having fun. For you, Max, you'll be grinding to cover the cost of your trip and stuff too, obviously. So as long as there's still place for that, I'm always going to be
No,
happy.
and that's the fun. I mean, I'll reiterate to drive the point home, but like I made zero deals when I was at Bleecker just this past week, and I'm completely okay with that. It's for talking to people. It's for talking to your obviously the National. You get to travel around. You get to see the people that you talk to all the time. You get to see the passion that you have with other collectors, and that's priceless. So, although I will be trying to hustle my way to make the fees from the monetary expenses back, that is at no discount to the actual benefits, non monetary, that I would derive from being in Chicago in late July.
And the National, my last piece of advice before we turn to just, I want to hear recent pickups. I want that to be the bulk of the episode here, just to hear about what's been going on in the inventory buying and selling, Max, for you. And obviously, I've been going kind of ham on eBay lately, so I want to talk through that stuff. But I would recommend trying to go through early around the tables. Last year, I had the luck of being set up with Ledex. I got to be there in super early on Wednesday, maybe even Tuesday, and I was just running around trying to buy cards before everyone was packed, and it was kind of nuts. So definitely recommend getting in early, doing your laps early, and then kind of later in the week when your people are kind of more burned out, just starting to hang out and kick it. Do you have any last piece of advice, Max, before I turn to recent pickups and stuff?
If you are buying or selling or doing a certain activity in anticipation of the National, don't unless it's extremely scarce cards that don't exist or extremely high end vintage and you're showing them to a larger demographic than you otherwise would. Like, and really, the only reason I'm saying that second caveat is because that's the demographic that is pricing things for the National anyway, because they're showing their dead guys to a million new people rather than just their local show. And these people don't really use the internet anyway. But especially for modern cards, it just straight up doesn't matter. So if you're doing an activity anticipation for that, don't.
Nice. From
Okay.
there, I want to know what's been going on in your buying and selling world, Max. You said you have no more modern cards left. Any
If
big, any note, anything of note that you've bought on eBay recently, or trades that you made, flips that you made, any all the above, etc.
I just tweeted about this card, so but it's brutal because this guy is sucking right now and he is not an all-star. But I'm going to go into a little lore lesson right now of 2018 and 2019 tops update image variations. So I purchased a Vladimir Guerrero pointing update SP autograph sticker autograph as tops used to be up until the year 2023. Used to have your normal base cards, your short print image variations, and your super short print image variations. With at around 2019, 2020, your short for non-autographs, the print runs were for your short prints about 3,000 copies, and for your super short prints about 300 copies, so about a tenth. I'm basing this off of recollection and when I remember seeing other people use print run calculations. So this isn't hard and fast crystalline data that I did myself, partly based off recollection. With that in mind, specifically for Topps Update, and I think only specifically in 2018, 2019, I don't know if they did it in 2020 with image variation autographs, and I don't know if they did it in 2017. I think they did in 2017 with Judge, but I'm not 100% certain. But definitely 2018 and 2019 for they had sticker autographs on the short print and short print variations. So your Juan Soto rookie card, his hands on hips has a sticker autograph, and his Gatorade bath also has a sticker autograph. And similarly, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., his pointing SP has a sticker autograph, and his dugout with ball also has a sticker autograph. For 2019 specifically, I think 2018 as well. I'm not sure about 2019. The autograph checklist. I'm giving a lot of premise here, but the autograph checklist for 2019 Topps had only rookies for your super short prints and all subjects for your short prints. And I want to say the super short print subject was about 30 names, while the short print autograph checklist was like 90 names for possible autographs. So the short print autographs are actually way rare, or not way rare, rarer than your super short print autographs. I've seen print run estimates be on the Vladimir Guerrero with ball autograph be about 30 copies, while the pointing is only about 10 copies. And that's just a number I've seen thrown out. Because although the odds are lower of hitting a super short print autograph, the checklist is much larger on the short prints, to where the chance of you hitting Vlad specifically is smaller. So I found this card. This is Tommy. I should have sent you the link to this guy's eBay auction today. It was just some random guy in Arizona like liquidating collection, and you don't do like $100 cards or so, but like he had like a 2017 Bryce Harper opening day variation. He had some like really interesting rare Trout stuff, and I made sure to be mum on this Vladimir Guerrero pointing short print autograph as much as I could, just because like I want this from myself, or maybe from a flipping standpoint, throw it up, have a high ask, whatever, maybe. But like I respect the uniqueness of this. So I bought a Beckett 9.5 of this card. It is the only card in Beckett's entire population, and there is only one copy in PSAs. I'm not sure what the ball and dugout is for the populations on that. But I know there's one graded by Beckett, which is a 9.5 that I bought, and there's one graded by PSA, which was a 9. And there's like no comps on any of this stuff. I think it's just such a cool card. It's like me buying this like commemorates that I've known this like really weird factoid about Guerrero's rarest rookie cards. So that I can own this is, I think, very cool, and I hope he turns it around as a player.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's his stock like right now compared to like you've been following his stock pretty closely since his rookie card started coming out. Like, where are we at on his hype cycle right now?
Um, we are lower than 2022 and way lower since 2021. I think an effect that we have with rookies is that once we have like one bad, obviously Vladimir isn't a rookie. I'm saying Vladimir, like I'm on a first base name basis with him. But if there's ever like, I'm going to use the example of like Jabari Smith, obviously basketball, but he had a mediocre rookie year. His cards aren't dead. If he has a second mediocre year, his cards are probably going to be dead. But Vlad was an all-star last year. Obviously, he had the near triple crown year in 2021, but he's like treading water right now. But if he were to tread water in 2024, that's where I'd be very concerned.
I already know, Max. This is a side note, but I know who your big chase is going to be this year in cards in the NBA, and it's going to be Brady Dick for sure, or Grady Dick. I don't know. Either way, that seems like a guy right up your alley for a Max basketball card flip. I can't wait for that. But yeah, no, I'm hyped for you to own that, Vlad. I know that you're a connoisseur of the super short print, super duper uber short print era of tops that is now kind of ended with the gold mirror image FSP era that they want to start doing. But I've always been pro the sticker auto niche of those. I'm excited for you to own that. I'm excited to hear about the price that you got at that after the podcast, maybe. And when you flip it at the National, hopefully we hear a nice little Cards Max flip story.
Yeah.
Um,
I think like the rare 2010s cards just in general are very attractive to me. Like what I've said, like with vintage is like, I don't even care about the players to an extent. I just love card history. And this is like important 2010s card history that everyone needs to know if they're studying 2019 Tops Update.
if you're taking 2019 Tops Update 301 at the grad school of Cards University, you have to know that card. Um,
Yes.
what else has been going on though, Max? That's a cool one. You got that on eBay though? That's just an eBay snipe that saves search, or how did you even find that?
So I'm psycho. Like I'll just say it. Like for finding both stuff to crack and raw cards. I did this before the podcast too at 6:30. I do this religiously starting at about 5 to 5:30. I will look, and I've been doing this for months. I will look at eBay. I will search by ending soonest. I will search like in one tab, like PSA 9, BGS 95, BGS 9. And on another tab, I'll look at RC rookie first. And I will literally look at every completing listing that night that is over $100. And I will look at all the ones that I may look at buying, and I put them up, and then I decide if I want to buy on them. It's so funny. I was talking to a friend. His name's Colby, who I sold my Tyrese Maxey Contenders Platinum 1 of 1 auto to, and he's like, he collects Tyrese Maxey, and he's way up on the card right now compared to what I gave it to him for. I gave him to him for like 10 or 20% higher, or whatever. I gave him up for not a high markup compared to what the comp was, so he's doing well on it. But he's like, dude, like, how do you find this card? Like, what were you searching to find it? And I'm like, no, it was a PSA 9, so that's how I found it. And in this
Dude,
case, this Vlad was a Beckett 9.5. So I don't even think I've cracked a Beckett 9.5 in the past year. I was thinking of just removing it from my filter, but hey, it worked that time.
that's nuts. I mean, the sheer volume of cards that you see. Can you give me an over under on how many cards you think you see on eBay every day?
I don't know. Is that like each page is like 240? So if it's like three-ish pages each on both filters, maybe that's like 1,500 cards.
You see your laptop doing this? You're
I'm
not
I'm,
scrolling.
I'm like laptop scrolling.
Oh, I doom scroll on my phone for eBay, so it just never ends. I don't even notice how many I look at. I'm just scrolling for
Like
however
I'll
long.
like whip out my phone. I'll sometimes alt it if it's a graded card. I'll like have like three. I'll have like a card ladder tab open. I have a Gixon tab. Look at me spilling my secrets. My Gixon tab open. I'll have like my PSA tab open, and then I'll have like Twitter open because I'll just get distracted in the tweet, and then I'll have like 20 tabs in nowhere, and I'm like, oh, I need to start a new window. So I just do it all over again, and then start a new window. It's a lot of fun buying cards.
You're fucking crazy, dude. Well, I've been doing crazy shit on eBay too. Nothing to your extent, but I've just been buying up like a bunch of gold cups, just newer ones. I've been just trying to buy. I bought a Bobby Witt Jr. Top Heritage chrome refractor from this year for $10.
Wait, what
But
card?
my big
Gold.
the Bobby Witt,
Yeah,
I've been liking his Heritage Rookie Cup this year. It's a nice little play of him sliding in or like making a nice little play at short. So been buying up some of those. I bought a refractor for $10. Felt like that was easy. I did buy my one big buy recently on eBay at least was a 2009. Everyone knows that I'm a big fan of multiplayer cards, Max. I don't know if you've seen this card. I bought a 2009 Steph Curry, Del Curry combo out of 249 rookie card for under $100. Love the fact that I can get Steph Curry rookie cards that are numbered under $100 still. It's kind of ideal. I bought a D Gordon black rookie cup for $10. Shout
that's
out D Gordon. I don't know. Just been buying weird shit, dude, and spending a lot of like $3, $5 purchases here and there. But
yeah. So Tommy Vaughn dialect question of the day: how do you pronounce the number one pick drafted by the Orlando Magic? That isn't.
Paolo, Paolo, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, I've always said Paolo, but I think it's Paolo. Yeah,
Did
I'm
you
doing
see?
something. Go for it.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna do is I'm gonna have an anecdote about him after you. What are you asking?
Never mind. You're never mind. Yeah, I've been doing some like really stupid things, like buying from China and then shipping it to my house, which I'm even though I'm moving. So I'm like, I was like, oh, I should go ship my cards now. So I've been doing that, and we're gonna have a recap, I guess, on how good ship my cards is. But apparently, it's like $7 to ship to the Oregon address for one card, or it's like $10 to ship like a lot of 2 to 10 cards for them to ingest it, which
What
is
is
way
this?
okay. So do you know how like Alt and PWCC have vaults?
Yeah.
So their vaults operate on how for raw cards you have $5 ingestion fee for Alt. You don't have one for PWCC. And I think for both vaults, you have a 3% fulfillment fee if you withdraw within the first 90 days, and it becomes 1% after 90 days. And well, compared to the valuation of the item that they take in. And that kind of sucks. Like just being blunt, like that like adds up quickly. It used to be no fees, which is why I used to use Alt about a year or two ago. And I'll use PWCC for the Riot Peel sticker because that is has tangible value. But with now for modern cards, there isn't if I need to use them as a tax haven, that really isn't very friendly at 1% the declared value, especially if I'm buying expensive stuff. So ship my cards, which has I think always been around and has original I think like its main purpose has been for people that are in Canada or internationally and they want to have a US address or something like the ComC addresses, but everyone knows ComC can be hectic with turnaround time. But I think you can ship to their Arizona address, which is like $3 per card, and you get sales tax of Arizona, or their Oregon address for $7, and eventually get to its Arizona center. And it's like, well, I'd rather, especially if I'm like buying cards all from the same seller, I'd much rather just get a lot of like 5 cards, pay them $10, ship my cards $10 plus like 10% premium on the shipping fees upon outtake. It's like I'd rather do that than give alt 1%, or excuse me, give alt 3%, because even though that's better than paying sales tax, ship my cards looks to be a little bit cheaper on paper.
I can't believe there's a hobby company I didn't even know about. Ship my cards. I just looked at their
Ah.
website. That's pretty cool. I had never once in my life heard of that company.
But yeah, if you are up north, you do maple syrup or something like that. I don't know what Canada joke I can add into my stir fry, but yeah, you would like stack all of your US incoming mail to ship my cards. You would take the ingestion fees upon receiving the shipment, and then you would ship it out all at once, so it would save you money.
Well, I like the concept. I'm happy that you're buying basketball cards from China because that's the best place to buy basketball cards. Is it only basketball cards? Or you got other shit coming in from there too?
Predominantly basketball cards. I've been buying a lot lately. I've been cracking. I think I've had like 2 grading orders. I like Junior Caminero. He's good. Just trying to find. It's weird. I feel like I'm buying a ton, but it's all grading that I have in my hands for like 2 weeks at a time before shipping out, or maybe I'll do a sub right after the national, or it's like dead guys, which like no one cares about except for me, which I don't care. I mean, I care about it, so that's what's more important. Fuck you, but but
Wait, for grading though, are you grading only modern cards, or like I haven't heard you grade any vintage really? Are you grading vintage at all, or are you just
no,
is
I'm
this
not grading vintage.
strictly Bowman Chrome first sniping?
Uh, I don't know. I like to mess around with my PSA nines. I always like my dimes, but I have to humble myself every once in a while, and I don't have my dimes. But no, vintage is a little bit dangerous. I'm not at a point where I feel like I can confidently tell fakes or not. And I feel like the good thing is I feel like it's relative to the dealer. If if like you can trust their raw inventory, then you can trust that. But like I don't know how well I'd be able to ascertain a 4 from a 6. And when the difference in value is hundreds of dollars, especially when a dealer may be charging it as if it were graded a 6 when it's raw, it's just not something that I've really dived into. Like I can tell the difference between like really bad fakes. Like if you have a Ty Cobb red portrait with a Piedmont 150 back on it, yeah, no, that thing's not real. Like I know that. I know ball, but I'm not gonna try to tell the difference between a 2 and a 3. And the cracking game might be very lucrative in that, but it's not something that I've attempted. And maybe I should attempt it. I don't know. I love danger, but not something that is, as of now, been on my list.
Max, I love Danger Edition.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I feel like that's like kind of the next level maybe of
Yeah,
your
maybe
evolution.
I've been doing some Veriswap trading.
Yeah, what's been going on in Veriswap? I have never checked out Veriswap, or at
Yeah,
least I haven't like downloaded it or whatever.
it's really strange because I don't I feel bad saying this, but I almost feel like I have to overwhelmingly be winning a deal or overwhelmingly know my valuations are returning well in order for me to do a deal on Veriswap. Because right now they're at 3%. Obviously, they're allowed to make money. This is not for me. Because people are allowed to do giveaways. People are allowed to make money and grow their band. I'm not saying that they can't take money, but right now it's 3% fee to Veriswap for each partner. So they're taking about 6% of the declared value for every transaction. And with that in mind, like 6% is like hefty. Like if that's like a $5,000 deal, if you're giving up $2,500 of cards, that means you're giving them $250. So that's like hard to pull the trigger on unless you're really getting good value on your own stuff. But they're a safe and trusted middleman. The fees are just at the point where it's like there are trade proposals that I've got received that I would do if there weren't a Veriswap fee. But because the Veriswap fee exists, I can't do the deal because it would be like that 3% is meaningful in the grand scheme of things. Or that
Yeah.
5% on my end is meaningful.
Have you, so you have done trades though recently
I,
on there?
I have done trades. I think most of my trades. So I had one deal that was like a Jalen Brunson for Trey Young trade. That was interesting. But predominantly my trades have been vintage based just because I know my value. If I can exit at a value that I know well, again, I'm saying this so inarticulately and I apologize, but it all depends on the value that I'm exiting at and what I'm into it at. Like I sometimes have to change the scheme of not from, oh, am I really getting $2,500 of value if I'm losing the fees or if I'm losing this? It's like, no, what is my cost basis? And would I rather, am I upgrading my cost basis from this? And if the answer is yes, then I'll do it. But I throw some of my cobs there. I have recently did a deal where I traded out of a Walter Johnson portrait and I acquired a Cy Young, glove shows C206. I gave away this is a trade, a PSA 1 Walter Johnson portrait and a PSA 3 Jackie. I don't know if it was a 3 or 2. I think a 3, 1953 Jackie Robinson. Looked really nice. And it was for a Cy Young glove shows T206 and a Shohei Ohtani Atomic SGC 95. And my rationale was that, okay, I'm getting like very strong eye appeal. Like he was respecting my eye appeal on that. so I could be okay entering the Cy Young, which is even though I'm trading up to a higher card, he was giving me good value on my stuff, so I could meet his value on their stuff. And the deal went swimmingly. I got my cards yesterday. I opened my package today, and really it just speaks to the power of in-person trading at shows because it makes it so much less hassle free, so much more hassle free.
Yeah, trading online is such a hassle, but I'm glad to see that you've been making it happen on your end. I love to hear the trades where you trade some dude that's been dead for 80 years for Shohei Ohtani and atomic refractors. I love that.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Max. I wasn't really around. I wasn't really deep in the hobby when Shohei first came up.
Mhm.
Um, is Shohei the most profitable card to own? Like, if you were gonna own, like, if you bought Shohei at his bottom, what sort of percentage return are you getting on his cards right now? Or do you know anyone who's like done that? Because I've seen guys on Twitter who like own some heat, some like big time Shohei cards, and I know they bought it way, 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 way lower than they are now.
I hate to give an inconcrete answer, and if you give me a few minutes, I can pull up some numbers, but it is a lot. Like if you were buying Shohei even during COVID in 2019, or excuse me, COVID in 2020, but when he was fighting with injuries in 2019, 2020, you have to remember when people were having that gold rush of submitting things to PSA and having a backlog for 15 months, they weren't submitting Shohei Ohtani cards. Shohei was sucking. Shohei was hurt. Shohei couldn't stay healthy. Shohei was an above average pitcher, but a middle of the pack batter. As of this point, Shohei Ohtani is the single hottest baseball player to own for cardboard. He's blown Mike Trout out of the water, partly because his market cap is probably similar to Trout's, if not lower, but it's diversified over fewer cards. And I mean, the answer, like you could be to at least put some sort of concrete answer of it, you could be buying some of his Topps Chrome autos for in the hundreds range for his Topps Chrome autographs and be selling them now in the high four figures, low five figures. His Bowman Chrome Mega Box from 2017 is a $1,000 card right now with him from the World Baseball Classic.
That's a sick card, but
It's a
$1,000.
card. It is a card with a 95% gem rate. It might even be higher. It might be like 97 or 98% gem rate. It is an obscenely high gem rate, and the quality control back then was so much better than it is now. But that card probably would have been what, like $10, $5 during the pandemic. Now it's $1,000 card raw, and this is for true first moment.
That's insane. Because I know, like anecdotally, I remember buying my Shohei flagship throwing rookie card. I think I bought it for 75 cents in like December 2020 or something. Like I bought it for
Yeah,
nothing. Those cards now are selling, at least even on Twitter, where like no one's buying cards really that are below $100 or like nicer cards. I've been seeing people selling Shohei base paper rookie cards for $20, $30 a pop, just like ASAP, like peak
yeah,
liquidation style.
peak. I know his PSA 10 Topps Chrome Refractor 700 card, or excuse me, card number 150. Card is number 700 would be a series 2, but card number 150. I want to say his PSA 10 prices of that is currently at $700 to $800. Spring training, I believe spring training post World Baseball Classic they're at 500 to 550. Pre World Baseball Classic bump they were at like I think 4 to 500, and maybe 2018 2019 2020 when he was lulling. Well, how much would that card been worth? Like $80? And probably a bad example because your biggest examples in growth are going to be the uber high end and the uber low end, and that's like a mid end card. Your Chrome Refractor rookie card PSA 10, that's a middle of the pack card, and that's probably seen a 10x in the past 2 years, 3 years.
That's nuts. And I've kind of been shocked by just the sheer quantity of Shohei cards that are out there and the fact that like every single person that I know wants to own Shohei
Yeah,
Ohtani cards are like it's just peak liquidity.
like I want to say some of 2021 stuff is peaked higher than it is now, and that's just due to the market circumstances. I remember I like sold a few, his rookie card, 2018 Bowman Chrome with the batting pose. I want to say I sold two or three of them at like $1,200, and part of that was directly consequence of people not submitting their Shohei base in 2020, and there not being much Shohei base relative to Acuna, Soto, um, Judge, even though Judge wasn't hot then. Like there wasn't as much graded base as there was in 2021 as there was in 2020. We've caught up a little bit since then, but that's when you literally selling $1,300 for a Bowman Chrome Shohei Ohtani base card after the PSA crash.
It's insane. And I only bought one Shohei card really. I bought his Topps Chrome 2019 SP with Ichiro. I bought that at the National last year for $80. And I think I saw it selling for like 140 or something now. It's not like a crazy bump that that card has gotten, but I remember buying that card because I was like, oh, Shohei is injury prone. I'm gonna hedge my Shohei purchase for because I wanted like some sort of nice gold cup by making sure I get this card that also has Ichiro on it, so that regardless of what Shohei does, this will still be a cool card to have because of Ichiro. Now I'm kind of kicking myself for not buying nice. I mean, everyone in the world is kicking themselves for not buying nicer Shohei before, but just
Yeah,
wanted to address it because we haven't talked about Shohei really that much on the pod before.
yeah. I mean, that hedge would have worked out if it were Yasuo Kikuchi and Ichiro, who I think have some cards together as they were both Mariners. Obviously not Mariners at the same time, but they're both Mariners and have similar backgrounds.
Yeah, and speaking of liquidity and the hottest players in baseball, I do think that there is one person that is somewhat uh, competing with Shohei for hottest guy peak liquidity, and that is Ellie De La Cruz.
It's rough for me to look back at some of my sales and thinking of what could have been,
Did
especially
you
when
have you owned some pretty heat De La
I
Cruz cards in the
bought
past?
I bought a yellow Bowman Chrome Auto BGS 9 at Burbank for $1,100. When last comp at the time was like 3,500 for a 10. Cracked it, gemmed it. I got it back like right after spring training to where the market was dying a little bit. I think I got it back in like March or April, and I bumped it to a 10, which is cool. And I sold it for like $2,000 at the time, which was like full comp, so I couldn't regret it. But now that might be a $6,000 card in a 10, maybe a $7,000 or $8,000 card in the 10. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of pain. Oh my god, I had such a bad card. I wish I didn't sell, but I did sell. Should I share it, Tommy?
Yeah, please
We can
do.
talk
I'm
about
waiting. I'm waiting.
it. So during the Chicago Spectacular, I had an orange wave, Luis Arias. Speaking of hot names, BGS 10 Bowman Chrome Auto. And this was during the Chicago Spectacular when I visited you. And I sold it for $600. And I think I made $100, $200 on the card. It was BGS 10 pristine. Luis Arias. Why would anyone want a Luis Arias card? Really, really good card of like a really mid player. And I looked on eBay to see what it sold for, or see if there's any recent sales. And I found my exact card had a completed sale in late June of Luis Arias for $3,000.
So the guy who bought it off of you made over 2 grand on that card, basically.
He was a mystery packer, so he didn't make the money, but whoever pulled it did.
Damn, that's crazy because I bet that whoever pulled it from the mystery pack, geez, that's nuts. Well, I'm quickly gonna before
Cards
we
from the
close it
past.
down. What?
Cards from the past.
I love cards in the past for you because you so often get, but you also have the other side where you've sold off cards way before they tanked or whatever, and that's cool. But
That's
I am
why.
pissed.
Sorry.
Okay, now you go.
Okay, no, I go. I have the true collector dilemma of finding the stuff that's hard to keep because as we're entering more and more of a bear market and receding from COVID, not that that's a bad thing. It's just the stuff that was rare is becoming more and more common. Like I owned a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. ball and dugout, super short print, no auto, just copy about 300. That was a really nuts rare card in 2022 when I owned it for the first time, and then I sold it before his MVP campaign. And then I owned another one in Dallas, and it's lost her, and then I sold it in Chantilly. But point being, like Soto Gatorade Bath. Oh my God, that's such a crazy card. That's like one of his craziest rookie cards. Obviously, that's Juan Soto and not Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But point being, that's you can find that card now. Like you will find a person. There's probably at least two or three people selling that card at any given point, where it used to be like zero. And I'd rather pivot from the card with a print run of 300 to a card with closer to a print run of 30 if I'm still. So it's like it's given me an opportunity. Like this is the true collector in me. I want because stuff loses its funness if it loses its rarity. So it's like I can't like even seeing there were two of these Bryce Harper sticker autos, the podcast's favorite card on PWCC, and I didn't really want to bid on both of them because I didn't really want a third and fourth. I should have bid on them though. Those are ugly comps. But seeing those two cards be available and like back to back beats almost made me like not want to own the two that I already own. And I kind of enjoy it as like an epitome of what I enjoy in collecting. And even though this card is owning it is about 1 year anniversary of being owned because I bought this at the National last year raw. But I want the cards that aren't going to show up often of cool players, and that is getting more and more difficult to satiate with me, which is why I'm pivoting to vintage.
Bang. That sums up the Cards Max
Lots of
current.
gabbing today, Tommy.
No, this has been a great episode. This is what the people needed. They needed an old school classic young old heads. What has Max been thinking about lately episode? Um, I think that is always good. I will say that before we close this loop on liquid baseball players, that I am, as most people are, pretty pissed at Topps for not rushing De La Cruz into update. I think that's a huge L on them, and obviously they want to pump out 2024 Topps as much as possible, and he'll be the cover guy for that. And he'll probably also have a gold cup on his rookie card, which is obnoxious for me. Um, I'm just pissed at Topps for that, so just wanted to make sure that I did at least some hating on Topps during this episode by saying how much they're fumbling the bag by not including De La Cruz in update.
Yeah, I don't know. And I will once again be at my collecting crossroads of finding out what do I actually really want to collect.
And with that, Max, we will see everyone next week.
Become the card.
Become the card. Cards are life. I did go to the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, and in my head, Max, you are a bit of the Van Gogh of the card world, in where I can imagine a world where you are eating Topps cards before
I'm so
selling.
upset. I wanted to go to the Met to see the Jefferson Burdick exhibit as an adult that understands vintage baseball cards now. And I went on a Wednesday, and the Met is closed on Wednesdays. So I was gate kept from being able to look at vintage baseball cards before I leave New York.
That sucks. My one thing where I saw cards that was in Rome. There was a comic book shop that was like kind of nice, like pretty nice comic book shop, and they had a ton of Pokemon, a ton of Magic, and a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh, I think, but they did not have any sports cards. Pretty bummed about that. I was at a street fest in Chicago yesterday, and someone was selling. It was tough, but
Yeah,
yesterday I
well,
saw someone.
okay. Tell me
No,
about the Street Fest.
sorry. This is how every episode ends in some capacity. Just random anecdotes, but someone was selling Pokemon cards out of their like Street Fest tent, which is usually like just like arts and crafts and that sort of shit and like homemade whatever. And I was just like, what the fuck why is this random person have Pokemon cards? But I guess their son or partner buys Pokemon cards and asks them to sell them for them at the Street Fest if possible. They said no one had bought any though, so the current state of people that have been holding retail wax is no bueno.
I saw a tweet with clearance stickers on Prism Draft Picks. It says like, oh, now like Prism Draft Picks baseball. It's like, oh wow, now $17. Oh wow, now Optic Baseball $17.99. I'm like, that's what it should have been the entire time. It should have never been $25. Get out of here,
dude. In DC, I was in DC just for a night because me and my sister flew from DC to Rome, and at a Walgreens in DC, they were selling Heritage 2023 hangers hangers for $20 retail at Walgreens. I was like, Jesus Christ, man, $20.
Yeah, some places raised the SRP and then never lowered them. I still have my stash of 31 Luis, Series 2 Walgreens hangers from 2020 with 6 yellow parallels per box. I don't know what to do with them. No one wants to buy them. I think I just have to keep going down with the ship. Well, I got it.
Degenerate. Degenerate.
That's the thing, though. I'm hunting for Luis Robert yellow parallels. It's like I've done the calculation once. It's like my odds of hitting a Luis Robert base card, which is what he wanted to pull at the time, was like it's 62 cards per, and it's like 400 cards per box. So I maybe pull 5 to 6 Luis Robert base cards, which are now worthless. And it's like the odds that I pull a yellow Luis Robert Walgreens card, which isn't even a good card anymore. That might be like $50 now. That would have been like $300 or like $500 during pandemic. But it's
just fucking rip them, dude.
Dude, I can't. I had to go down with the ship. It's like me talking about this Vladimir Guerrero pointing short print autograph. It's like I have to be the guy that whenever those boxes are going to be in my house and there's a collector or a lady collector there, I'm going to have to explain why Walgreens Series 2 boxes are special and Walgreens yellow parallels are special. In general, Walgreens yellow parallels will always be the parallel that speaks closest to me.
Can I rip one? Can I buy one from you and bring it to my apartment before the National?
Do you know what? That's going to be my tax. That's going to be what I pay you.
All right, that'll be great. I'll film it. I'll pull the Luis Robert yellow for you, Max.
Yes,
and I'll sell it at the National for $12.
I used to have 31, but I did a giveaway a few years ago, and just to make it to an even 30. And I think I just fucked myself because now I'm going to be at 29, and that's such an annoying number. I don't know. Maybe that means we both have to rip one. Maybe that's good content. You know what? That's good content. We'll both rip one.
Maybe we'll both rip them live in the Ludex VIP lounge.
Oh my god, that's content. I wonder if it's something coming up with Ludex.
We'll see. Before we actually sign off, I guess
last 10 minutes there's been like a conference call with me and Tommy.
I have an even better last conference call note before we sign off, which is I got followed on Instagram by a card account called @Braves_Babe. And they said they PC all Braves, Ken Griffey Jr., and cards with fireworks on them. And their feed, they definitely do collect cards. I mean, they have a lot of Braves cards. Seems like they're a collector. But they had a link tree linked in their Instagram bio. And I was like, I like to look at people's eBay stores. Now that's my weird thing.
Oh, okay. That's what's in
the If you have an eBay store linked in your account and I follow you, I will have looked at it and checked to see if you have cards that I want to buy, just because I'm a huge fan of going off eBay. But this person, the only thing on their link tree, literally there's one link on the link tree and it's just straight to an OnlyFans. And I'm just like, Max would have loved this anecdote. Max is going to love this anecdote. So this person on Instagram who does cards and posts a lot of cards that they clearly are collecting, but they have a link tree and the link tree just goes only to the OnlyFans.
Yikes. That doesn't sound like a lady collector to me.
She seems like she's a lady collector. Maybe she's, however you fund your hobby collecting, yes. Do you, as the people who have listened to my...
What tweet as you want, Tommy Vaughn.
And if you've listened to the episodes that I forget to edit before I fix the edits, that I'm pro making interesting ways of funding your card experiences. So do what you got to do. Shout out everyone who collects cards. Shout out Keston Hira, Max's favorite baseball player. We'll see you all.
This is like holding in my hand, like the first ever like crack and great regrade I ever did. It was an SGC 9 Keston Hira. And I'm like, yeah, I'm bored. I kind of fuck with Keston. I'm fine getting a PSA 8, just to get a Keston getting a low grade PSA slab because it's sick. And I'm like, oh wow, this is 10. I'm rich. Now I still own it at a PSA 10 I found the SGC 9 label and I tweeted it. That's like I found the SGC 9 label as I was cleaning up my card basement, which won't be mine any longer. But that was fun. Chris Paul National Treasures. Cards on my desk. I am a card.
We are cards.